Okay, it's going.
Hi Margot, it's Karen from the garden. Mom and I are out planting potatoes and peas, and I thought I would do a little show and tell of what we're doing. Today is March 13th, Sunday, and it's sort of traditionally, you're supposed to wait until St. Patrick's Day to plant your potatoes, but today is the first day of daylight savings time, and it's just such a nice day after a long winter. We decided to get it going early. So, this is one of the 3 potato beds in the garden this year. These are going to be red Pontiac potatoes. These are mid-season potatoes. They'll come in a little later than our early crop of the Yukon Gold. And I've already prepared the bed. About 2 weeks ago I turned over the cover crop of ryegrass that we had growing over the winter to keep the happy bugs in the soil happy and active. So it's had a chance to have its fertilizer tilled in and gotten the dirt nice and fluffy, and now it's time to plant the potatoes. So these are seed potatoes, and we bought these from our local tractor and feed store down in Manassas. Easy peasy, they're about 50 cents a pound, and I bought about 5 pounds of them. There'll be 8 of these going into our 4 by 8 foot bed, and then we will be planting red onions between them, just to use up all the space and give them something to grow with. So, to plant a potato, I love planting potatoes because they're not like anything else. You don't just stick them in the ground and wait for them to grow. You actually have to sort of do some work while you're waiting for your potato crop to come in. The interesting thing about potatoes, instead of other root crops that you plant it and it'll grow down, like turnips or carrots or parsnips, potatoes grow only up. And so you plant them in a shallow hole, and from this potato, these are little eyes. You make sure that the biggest eye is pointing up, because that's what will grow up. From that specific place, it will only grow up. It won't grow down. So, and the potatoes that you will actually harvest later will grow up along that stem to the surface of the dirt. So, you plant it fairly shallow, maybe about 9 inches, well, that's not shallow, 9 inches down. You plant it, you cover it with about 4 inches of dirt, and then when the green starts to pop up and you've got maybe 4 inches of green on top, then you start mounding up the dirt around the green so that you still have some green on the top, but the majority of the stem is being covered with dirt as you go. And all along that stem is where your tubers will branch out. So, unlike anything else, you've got to keep an eye on it. So, let's get started. Okay, so these are seed potatoes. When you're buying them, make sure that they're fairly firm and not squishy. It's just like buying potatoes in the grocery store. This is good dirt. It's not too compost heavy. You don't want to have really rich dirt because you'll get heart rot inside your seed potatoes. And I'm not wearing gloves because I really love dirt under my nails. So I'm going to dig a fairly deep hole. You want to keep this dirt that you're going to be using fairly close by because you'll need it to mound up the potato plants later in the season. Alright, so, okay, the hole's about that deep. You're going to find the seed with the eye that's most robust and plant that facing up. Just nestle it in there. And this is a fairly deep, wide hole. And then cover it loosely with dirt. About 3 or 4 inches, and that's it. Now the thing I'm going to do after last year's experiment with potatoes, which was our first year planting potatoes, is these are fairly bushy plants when they come out. They're related to the tomato, so you don't want to plant them in the same place you planted tomatoes the previous season. There's a cross-contamination thing of bugs that will like them, so you want to switch them around. That's called crop rotation. You can look that up. But what I did notice is that, like tomatoes, they get big and bushy and they get floppy, and you wait until your potato plants die back, and they look awful, and it's not a very pretty thing, but if you don't have some sort of support on the plant itself, it just gets unwieldy and you can't really use the space around the plants. So I'm going to put tomato cages around my potatoes this year. And you want to put them in early, right when you're planting them, so that you don't pierce any of the tubers as they're growing. So, this is the first. I've got 7 more plants in this bed, and then we'll plant some onions between them. and hopefully we'll have some good dinner in a few months. But I miss you, hope you're having a great time out in Colorado, and I will see you soon. Bye!